Well, that was fast. All right. Usually it takes like 3-4 screen refreshers to find my stream. Okay. How's everybody doing tonight? What's going on? How you doing? Just getting everybody a minute to come in here. We are... Okay, so let me explain the title. This is a jelly cube. Lots of fun. Very floppy. Just a fidget toy. This one's unusually large. This is Ringception. Right? It's when you take the rings you normally use to make chainmail and you make a chainmail weave out of them, right? This is the start of my Ringception jelly cube. I wanted to do something else. I wanted to do a pine cone with this, but it didn't work out. I'm going to have to use a different weave. But this is going to be a larger, but yet smaller version of this, right? This will be bigger physically, while this has more time and energy and rings in it. So I can get a hold of enough rings to do 95 rings, which means I have to make 95 of these. Okay? Right now I'm at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Working on number 10 right here. So that's what Ringception is. That's what a jelly cube is. Class dismissed. My name is Sean. I run mailworks.com. I design and sell chainmail themed apparel and accessories, and I'm currently working on finishing up all the projects in my basement so that I can get them done and out of the way. Couple of projects. One project needs to be tumbled. One project I'm waiting on rings for. Okay, so for the regular like jelly cube, these are 18 gauge 1/8 from chain-reaction.ca up in Canada. How you doing, Train? Any ring size with an aspect ratio of 2.65 to 2.79. It's something like that. Right? We'll make a good jelly cube. So if you need more information, you can go to my Linktree and download the Mailworks app and go to the groups section, and in there is listed off all of the chainmail groups that I'm aware of, and go into like the large chainmail group. Hey Barb, how you doing? If you go into the large chainmail group over on Facebook and search jelly cube, you can, I'm sure someone has listed all the correct sizes over there. That is one thing I need to add. I need to make like a Excel sheet of ring sizes for different weaves. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate you. Following, sharing, liking, it's all free. Helps me out. Keeps me on the front of the FYP. Gets me out in front of people. Helps me spread the message of the good word of chainmail. Like, I was about 14 when I found out that you could make this stuff at home. I'm really old now, and I've been doing this a long time. And I just want to sell chainmail themed apparel and accessories and show other people that they can make cool stuff in the privacy of their own home. All right. So, I did find a supplier that does have. I'm gonna call them on Monday. I think they have enough rings for me to order to make a 3x3x3 jelly cube. Thank you for the follow. So I'm gonna give them a call and confirm that before I place an order. I might just place the order anyway and then wait for them to tell me that they don't have it. We'll see. Thank you for the follow. Appreciate you. So I am multi-streaming. This is TikTok, and over here I've got X, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch all going. So if you want a different angle, you can check out those platforms. It's more of an overhead view. Oh, thank you for the follow. Yeah, I'm almost to 10,000 followers, which will mean that I get to use my computer instead of having to use my phone. So soon, you should have a better view on TikTok of what I'm doing. Come on. Did I screw that up? Oh yeah, I did, didn't I? You'd think I'd know what I'm doing by now, but apparently not. So the weave I'm currently weaving is called Sandworm. And what it is it's a strip of full Persian, right? And then on the outside is box chain. Now, weave names are really kind of arbitrary, but there are some that are more predominantly accepted than others. So, for example, Byzantine is often called Fool's Dilemma or King's Chain or... Thank you. How you doing, Cage? So the chainmail community has kind of pretty much named most things, most weaves that have been invented. Most weaves have been invented in the last 40 years or so. And right now you have this resurgence in chainmail where there are more people making chainmail now today using more materials with more weaves than at any point in history, which is really cool. So the number of awesome stuff people come out. There's like one large, amazing project that comes out a week in the chainmail community. It's amazing. Doing great. Finally relaxing from a long week. You were very talented. Thank you. I'm glad to hear you're doing great. Hey, Liam, how you doing? You want to see this cube? The cube. Let's see if I can. If I turn this light off, actually. What would happen if I just did this the whole stream and didn't do any work? Think we'd like max out viewers? Get like 10,000 people here? Ooh. All right. Should I leave it on screen? Can you see it? It's kind of in my workspace there. I'll work around it. All right. Where am I? There I am. So, what happened here? Why is it doing that? Stop that. There we go. Did I get a ban? No, I don't think so. I've been coming on here. I was sick. I was sick for like 3 weeks, and I couldn't stream because every time I opened my mouth, I just start coughing. I couldn't talk for long periods of time. But that was like last month. Oh, I'm missing a ring. That's why that's loose. So yeah, I was streaming like every night of the week, and then a kid brought home something from school, and it happens. I don't get too sick, but it's the, like, I'll get sick and I'll feel okay, but if I start talking and I can't stop coughing, like, there's no way I can run a stream that way. So, but other than that, I'm trying to get back to a regular routine of streaming as often as I can. I do have family obligations and stuff like that. But that hasn't been too bad. Probably got baseball coming up. Baseball season should be here soon. So that'll be 2 nights a week with the kid after school. So that'll take up some time. One of my videos I talked about a ban. I haven't received like any community guidelines violations that I am aware of. So I don't know what that is in reference to. Okay. I did make a video talking about TikTok getting banned, where I had sent an email to my congressman. That was kind of irritating. Send an email, list off a bunch of concerns, right? It's like, you know, if X, then Y. And then I get this cookie cutter response. And that was... The cookie cutter response that I got was less than... Like, it was just mainstream media talking points. Like, it doesn't address any of the stuff that I was concerned about. And then what happens? AT&T has a huge data breach, right? So does it really matter if we have TikTok in this country? Because all of my stuff was just leaked. Yeah, it was just TikTok ban questions. I never got banned. So that was back when, like, February, sometime in March, I think, when I sent that email. So, a lot has happened since then, including, I think, me being sick. So, I should say ill. I'm always sick. I'm just kidding. I'm not cool at all. All right. Oh, and another thing, right? So they want to ban TikTok because China might get our information, and then AT&T gets hacked, right? There's what's the credit bureau? Experian. They had a major data hack just a couple years ago. It was something like 175 million Americans' data was leaked, right? And that's like not recovered. That's out there for sale. Anyway, the beard was cool. Yeah, I got rid of it because I used one of those heated combs, and it like burnt off a lot of the hair. Like, I had hair in my chin like 2 inches long, and then just this empty space. It got irritating. I didn't know what to do about it. except wait to grow it all back in, but it looked goofy, so it'll be back. Give me another 2.5 years. It's like the trick to, thank you for the heart, I appreciate it. The trick to growing a beard is to let it grow, right? If you are genetically predisposed to be able to grow a beard, and I have a decent beard. I don't have the most thickest, lushest beard out there, but it's decent enough that I can grow it long and it looks just fine. But the secret is to just let it grow. You'll hear people say, oh, I'm trying to grow my beard out. Just let it happen. My problem was in the summertime, right? Getting through the first humid days when I have to go out and like mow the lawn or work outside or something. And it gets like all hot around your neck. You just want to go in and cut the whole thing off. So once I made it through like 2 summers of that, I was good to go. So I'm sure I'll be fine this summer. But yeah, I had damaged it and it looked bad, so I want to grow it back out to see if the heated comb was actually the issue. Or if my, like, if the hair right in this central section of my face only grows so far and then just breaks. Your 3rd grade teacher had a massive beard. There's a couple guys, some high school teachers I had, that had quite the facial regalia. And that was out at the rural high school I went to. Everyone at the city high school I went to was a boring normie. So, all right. This is number 10 right here. Only 85 to go. It's going to cost me $200 to get the rest of the rings. And I'm only able to do that because I'm getting a tax return. So I think, like, I shouldn't even question it. I should just pull the trigger, right? I should just buy the rings. Because I think, like, right now, I can make a 2x2x2 jelly cube. And there are 21 rings in that. And I have enough of these small rings here, right, to make 21 of these, right? So I could just stop there. But a 2x2 cube, like, they don't even look like cubes, right? So I need at least a 3x3, I think. Tax returns are so good, yeah. Get your money back. And, you know, I need another large project, like I need a hole in the head. But this is what I am going to do with my life, so I might as well order the rings. It's only 17,000 rings to do this, right? And I have, I figured out how many rings I had. I've got roughly 4,000, 4,500, something like that. So I can order the other 12,000, and I think like I said, I think the supplier has them. Yeah, only 17,000 rings. Right? Well, at 10 rings, there's these are 176 rings apiece, right? So at 10 rings, there's There's 1,760 rings in my hands right now, right? And I've got another, 4,000? Something like that. I don't have enough here at the house. Alright, I need to move this out of the way. Yeah, only 17,000 rings. Small project, no problem. Oh, ow, my leg's numb. Trying to think, what's my largest ring project so far? I have a shirt that probably has 20,000 rings in it. Probably pretty easily has 20,000 rings in it. My galvanized steel European 6-in-1 shirt probably has 30,000 rings. So this won't be my largest project. Yeah, the galvanized shirt was insane. It was I should not have made a European 6-in-1 galvanized steel shirt. I should have I should have not done that at all. Because I spent way too long on that. I got burnt out on it many times. Continuing to work on it prevented me from getting better as a chainmail artist. I wouldn't have even considered myself an artist at that point, right? Because while I have been doing this for a long time, you know, I was hand making all my rings, coiling them up, cutting them, and in fact, where's my bolt cutters? These are HK Importer bolt cutters, and if you see if I can get this to focus, right? If you look here, you can see that they don't line up anymore, right? This top part is bent at the wrong angle, right? And I went through probably 2 or 3 of these cutting rings, right, by hand. So doing that, focusing on that one project for so long, I spent way too long on it, and I definitely don't recommend doing that. Buy a kit if you're interested in learning more about chainmail, right? See if you even like it first, and go from there. Alright, we're going to try and get this in here. A lot of upside down and backwards weaving with this. So when I finished that first galvanized steel shirt while I was on deployment to Abu Ghraib out in Iraq, my first deployment in 2004. That was when I found the Ring Lord. And that was, I started ordering rings and learning more weaves, and so 2004 was when I started getting good, about 20 years ago. I started taking myself seriously as someone who can make cool stuff probably 15 years ago. And now, you know, I design and sell chainmail themed apparel and accessories, and make really obnoxiously large Ringception pieces. Did I? Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's correct. Okay. It'll work. It'll work. Don't worry. So, now that I am, you know, got a home, I can do this all day. I can really focus on making whatever I want. So I am excited. Finishing up all the projects down here in the basement, and then eventually I'll move on to, you know, higher end stuff. And I'm hoping to get there by the end of the year. If I can stop doing things like, I don't know, adding enormous projects to my already long list of projects. Like Ringception jelly cubes. Alright. But I do want to do large Ringception sculptures like this, right? There's a little chainmail, what's it called? Pine cone deal, right? It's just a little dragon scale wrapped around itself, and it looks like a pine cone, and it's adorable. And I want to take that idea and just make a huge one. So that was what this started out as. That was what I was going to do, but I picked the wrong weave, really. So I made a couple of these rings, and I was like, hey, this ring size looks like it'd make a good jelly cube. So now I've priced out everything I need, and I know how many rings I gotta make, and thank you for the follow. Appreciate you. Sorry if this is off screen a little bit. It's really difficult weaving in here right now. And let's say I make large shiny sculptures and they're really cool, right? But they never sell because of how expensive they are. They will always be like giant eye catcher pieces if I ever run a booth or something. So it's not totally in vain. That's what I keep telling myself. All right, Liam, have a good night. Appreciate you stopping by. All right. That's very tight. I missed a ring here. Let's see if I can scoop it back up. There we go. Perfect. Alright, now where am I at here? This was in between. Okay. Looks like quite the mess here. I really hope I didn't just weave that into the wrong spot. I don't think I did. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. There. So that is the cube thus far. A lot of work to do. Thanks, Julie. Bruh. It's something. It's gonna look more like a cube as we add more rings. Cubes are always floppy, especially in the beginning. I wonder if I turn it over if it would make... That kind of looks better. Once I finish this second layer here on the bottom, it'll start to take shape, right? You can kind of see how it goes together. We'll make more rings and we'll get there. I'm just gonna leave this facing me because I know that's the first layer. So I've got this small pile of rings left. What time is it? 9? We'll probably be done with this inside the hour. It's not really a lot of rings. It might look like a large pile, but it's not. And the rest of the rings that I'm going to be working with are in the tumbler right now because they were in a container and I didn't realize that they weren't clean. So I'm cleaning them right now. And I will get those ready. But I've got this project. I'm waiting on rings for the Finnegan's Wake flag. I've got this jelly cube to work on. We can put that there. So a bunch of different projects to stream, you know, rather than just like one large project for every night. I still got to put probably 10 to 12 more hours on the saddlebag. But as I've mentioned before, I'm not in a hurry to get that done just because it's rainy and crappy and it snowed 2 days ago. And it's like I'm not going to be out riding anytime soon. We did have a warm spell back in February. And I could have gotten the bike out, but the saddlebags were down in the basement. And I should have gotten on it and gone out for a little ride, but soon. Once the saddlebags are done, that's going to be a problem over the summer. It's because I'll be doing a lot of riding, and I don't know how much work I'm going to be able to get done. So working on ring number 11. One thing too is that well, I don't know. I was gonna say the rings I have to make more of this jelly cube. I was gonna say that I could go through them pretty quickly, but if I order more rings for it, they should. I mean, it's not going to take forever for them to get here, so they should be here pretty quick. And then, yeah. And then I have some other projects that need like leather work. Like some belts and some guitar straps. So that's all. It's all got to get done. All got to get done this year. The only project that I haven't committed to finishing this year is redoing my chainmail shirts. 2 of them I don't have rings for, right? 1 of them I do. It's my short sleeve European 4-in-1 shirt. And so I want to take it, increase the size of it because it does not fit me very well. So tailor it to myself. And then I'm going to line it and add pockets and add a fur trim and make it more of a jacket. And that is the kind of shirt I'm going to be making moving forward, right? Chainmail shirt, you know, that wears like a jacket, that is lined, that is not uncomfortable to wear, that you can put on and go and walk around in. It's all about fashion, baby. Thank you for the follow. Appreciate you. All right. And then next year, maybe even before next year, I don't know. Like, I have a bunch of small projects and several large ones, right? And they seem to be going pretty quickly. So we might be done before the end of the year. And then we can move on to cooler projects. Like large chainmail sculptures made of titanium that are anodized, or ones made from silver and gold. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I don't particularly... Like, I've made myself a guitar strap. I've made myself chainmail shirts. I've made myself chainmail jewelry. So now, where can I take this hobby, this craft, this skill? So hopefully I will have great success. Like, this is a large project in and of itself, right? By the time I have this up to the size that I want, it's what, 3.5 inches on each side right now. I want to get it up to 5 inches, and that will be at about 20 rows. And to take it from 14 to 20 rows, I basically got to triple the, or no. Basically, there are roughly 14,000 rings in this, and a cube that has 20 rows has 44,000. So I've got to... How would you say that? Right? If I'm going from like 14 to 28 to 44, right? Was that doubling? Is that doubling the ring size? No, because doubling would just be 28. It's tripling. I have to triple the amount of rings in this already. So it's going to be... That's going to take a lot. This 17,000 rings is going to be a while. Finnegan's Wake flag, I think that's 30,000 rings or something. I don't even know anymore. Get it all done this year. Get them out of the way. Get them finished. Get them up on the wall. Get them on the windowsill. Put them on display. Call it a day. Well, and that's not counting all the work I got to do on computer. I got a new t-shirt design phrase I'm formulating. I need to sit down and mull over it, how to make it say what I want it to say and the elements that I want to add on it. And then since my last chainmail design for tapestries and blankets didn't work out, I need to start on a new design. I had this really cool veg vizier that my computer isn't powerful enough to render. So I checked out rendering farms, and they couldn't do it either. Because they have the same amount of memory as I do, the same amount of RAM. So I don't know. I can't think of anything else that I really need to get done. Nothing is urgent, you know. It's all stuff I'd like to do. And then we'll get back to making jewelry and taking custom requests, and I've got to get through this stuff first. Oh, and then I've got this cube I got to work on, right? But I'm waiting on rings to come in for this cube, right? And this, I think we're going to raffle this off. Because a lot of people were asking about cubes. I don't know. We'll see how that goes. If you are interested in having a cool cube, that doesn't have quite as many rings in this, but will be physically bigger, right? It will be at least that length on each side. So if you want one, watch out for a raffle. I can't make one for everyone. But there were like 100 people out of the 1.8 million that saw it. There were probably 100, 150 requests for one. It's like, I know most people don't make a cube that size just because they are so time consuming. But I thought it'd be cool to make one large one and give it away. Or raffle it off. But I'm waiting for the rings on that one too, so. I don't think I'll be needing any more rings to finish projects. But I keep saying that. And I was not expecting to have to order rings for this, right? It's fine. But, yeah. Every time I turn around, there's like, oh, I need some of this for that, and some of those for these, and if I want to get this all done, it's fine. I've got a little tax return coming. It'll be all right. I'm not going to go bankrupt because I spent too much money on rings. But I could. I could absolutely go bankrupt spending money on rings. I won't. I won't go and spend, you know, my entire monthly allotment on rings. because there are 12 or 13 manufacturers. If you're looking at what I'm doing, I'm making chainmail, and if you want to know how to make it, I get the link tree, or in the link tree in my bio is the Mailworks app. Inside of that app, there's like lists of suppliers, lists of where to find tutorials, lists of where to find other people that make chainmail, and a whole bunch of other tools, right? And there's like 10 to 12 suppliers, most of whom I've never ordered from. So I've got like wish lists of rings that I want to work with. Like, I want to work with more of Whitney Mail's blackened titanium. I love that stuff. It looks so good. I want to order more. I want to order some scales from Draconic Wares, which, you know, I don't know if they are listed. They might be. They might be an Etsy site. I don't know. Let me actually. Is that? Yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah, okay. They're not. Leave it to me to mention someone who's not listed in the Mailworks app. So, Etsy shops aren't listed on the Mailworks app because they already have an app, right? And the point of the Mailworks app isn't to drive traffic to other major platforms like Amazon, Etsy, and if I start adding Etsy shops, I would have to add hundreds of shops. So I try to keep it just to the people who have websites. So that's a policy I started with. I don't know if I'm going to keep it. Some people were a little put off by the fact that I had made that decision. But like, if you have a dedicated website and you update it regularly and you're a regular active member of the chainmail community, and I've known you for a long time, right? I think that that's a stable behavior, or I think that signifies that you have a stable behavior, that you're not going to list a bunch of stuff on Etsy and then abandon your shop the next day, right? And I know people who have done that, and also, there's this fun thing in the chainmail community where someone comes in who can make chainmail, and they go to other people's web shops and websites, and they post them all to their Etsy shop, and they try to get a bunch of sales, and then they either run off with the money or make fraudulent claims about what they can make, and I've seen that happen a lot too. You don't get that so much with someone who has a dedicated website. So having your own website is better than second party. I think so too. Just in general, even if you're on Amazon, eBay, Etsy, what's the new Go Imagine, the new platform by Michaels, right? Just because at any point in time you can lose access to all your hard work for any reason. Hey Renee, how you doing? Minnie, how are you tonight? Trust is earned with your customers. Yep. Thank you for the dinos. Yeetus, how you doing? Alright. So, that's, you're doing good. You're welcome. That's good to hear. The whole idea that, okay, there's nothing wrong with just having an Etsy site, and if that's what you want to do, that is your prerogative, right? I made the decision that I did not want to drive traffic to those platforms, Amazon, eBay, and Etsy, Go Imagine. So I didn't add chainmail artists who had Etsy shops to the artist section on the Mailworks app. And some Some people didn't like that. Some people thought it was okay, you know. You didn't order enough rings for your dice bag. I'm sorry. You gotta wait on more rings. I too am waiting on rings, and I'm about to order some more. App, thanks so much. Yeah, you're welcome. I hope it helps. It's free. It is. I learned a long time ago. Like, I've had people ask if I would write a tutorial for something, and it's like, there's no way, right? Every time I've ever tried to teach someone something, they quit that thing. And it doesn't matter if it was chainmail or nursing or underwater basket weaving, okay? I am a poor teacher. And that is probably a character flaw I should work on, but it's you know, my solution to that is I can point people in the right direction of something. It's like it's over there, and then I take a step back, right? You misread the sign. Okay, you went that route when you're starting out, but you have direct emails that help to keep those. Yeah, if you have an email list, that can be very valuable. You're also having some doubts about some rings. Do you mind if you text you? You can definitely message me on, like, I'm on every platform under this name, right? So best place is either Facebook or TikTok. One of those two places. You misread the sign. Thought it said 250 rings per bag, but it was 90 rings. Oh, man. So you're off by a lot. Yeah, if you got your own website and you got your own email list, you don't want to lose that by involving a third party. But, you know, people can do and make whatever they want. I'm not judging. I'm just saying, you know, these are why I do the things I do. All these rings are out of round. Where am I at here? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. Okay. We'll have most of a ring. Yeah, you're about 300 rings short. Yeah, it sucks. It does, it does. That was, okay. That is one of the reasons why I am finishing up all the projects in my basement, and then, you know, trying out other manufacturers, because 90% of my rings are from the Ring Lord, right? And when the Ring Lord trued up their rings, I think is in 2016, they made it so that a ring that was labeled at 1/4 inch was an actual 1/4 inch, right? A lot of the projects I was working on, I could no longer work on. I was no longer able to work on because the ring size had changed so much that it either looked bad or the rings didn't fit. And so I was stuck with a lot of unfinished projects. That burned me out for a long time. And I let a lot of little things bother me, and that led to a lot of projects just laying around for years. You want to make your own, but you don't know if you trust yourself on making them. You look into Chainmail Joe, you've been enjoying the quality of them. Yeah, a lot of people like Chainmail Joe. I like their beginner kit a lot. I want to order one for myself just to have the box. I don't know. They have a beautiful tutorial book in there, and it's like I don't really want the rings or anything, but okay. So I want to make my own rings too, And what material did you use for your dice bag? If you don't mind me asking. Minnie, thank you so much for stopping by. I appreciate you and your input. Check out the website. Check out the Mailworks app. If you want to learn how to make chainmail, there's plenty of resources in the app. If you want to purchase chainmail, there's a bunch of people listed in the artist section who do custom work, take requests, and have bunches of stuff already made. So check them out too. And please come back anytime. They're also cheaper than the Ring Lord. You're using anodized aluminum, 14 gauge 3/8. Okay. So, anodizing aluminum is a chemical process. I'll never do it anywhere near my home. My son is screaming. I told him before the stream that he had to be quiet, so if he's screaming now, I hope he's losing at whatever he's playing. Thank you for the follow. Like, when I go to make rings, I will only be working with titanium, stainless steel, silver, and gold. Those are the 4 metals that I want to move to. There's nothing wrong with using anodized aluminum for stuff. Not really. Like, it works for some stuff better than others. As all materials. I just don't want to use it anymore. And that's a personal preference. So, yeah, 14 gauge 3/8. That was the ring size I used for my first shirt. You thought about just buying the spool of wire and coiling and cutting them yourself? Do they sell like whole anodized wire spools? Or are you talking about just bare aluminum, just bright aluminum? Because there's a saw setup called a ringinator. I don't know if you are aware, but it's what a lot of people use to saw cut their rings at home. I don't have one. It's not quite the setup I'm going to be using when I get all set up to coil and cut my rings. Yeah, if they have a spool of anodized wire that you can cut yourself to cut down on costs, depending on how much you love making chainmail, it might be worth your time to do that, right? I started out, I hand cut thousands of rings for my first shirt, and I did that for too long. A-Rat, give me just a second. I'm working on this thing. It's a thing. I'll explain it. So I hand cut rings for far too long, and then once I found that there were manufacturers who could make a better ring than what I could make myself, that's when I started just purchasing all the rings that I needed. Right? Now that I am at the point where the stuff that I want to make is going to be very expensive, I have to find a way to cut costs. So now, after 28 years of doing this, I will be going into making my own rings for the first time in 15 years. So, all right. A rat. This is a jelly cube, right? It's very jelly. It's made up of 14,000 individual rings all woven together to make this shape and give this effect. It's kind of cool. It's just a big fidget toy, right? And this is Ringception. You use rings to make rings, and then you weave them together to make a chainmail chain. This is JPL, I think. I should have made these rings a little tighter, right? So you use the rings to make the rings and then weave the rings together, right? This is going to be a chainmail jelly cube, right? That is what I'm working on. It's going to be, all these rings are made up of 176 rings apiece, and it's going to take 95 rings. So I've got to make 95 of these individual ones to make a 3x3 cube. A-Rat and Rat God. Yes, I am making a giant jelly cube. The weave I'm using is called Sandworm. And it's a strip of full Persian with box weave around it. The cube's name is Bob. This is Bob. Bob's about to have a growth spurt here in a little bit. Oh. Yes, essentially what I'm making is a giant jelly cube. Why? Because I am not a smart man. This was not a project I needed. I didn't need to spend money on it, which I'm about to do. Can I remember that the cube's name is Bob? I can try. I will try to remember to introduce Bob the Cube. You wish me luck and patience? Well, I appreciate it. I've got half a dozen other projects laying around that are this involved or more, so it's a new thing to work on while streaming instead of just the same old projects. That's going to take years. No, I'll be done. I'll be done in a little bit. This won't take long. These are not... If I'm not chatting, right, these are 176 rings. I can do one an hour, right? I've already got 10 rings here. I need 95. I've got 85 to go. This is probably taken 3-4 days, right? Figuring out the ring size, weaving them correctly. I think I've been working on it 3 or 4 days. So it'll be done before you know it. Projects that have taken me years that I'm currently working on. I have an inlay that I've been working on for 18 years now. And I got some rings on the way, and hopefully it's the last order of rings that I need to finish it. That was one that really got inside my head a lot of times and burned me out. And I would work on it for a little bit, and I wouldn't be successful at it, and I would just quit. And so that's literally so impressive. Well, thank you. I hope that if it just holds its shape and looks something like a cube, I will be happy. That's all I'm hoping for. Uh-oh, we're getting the warning. We've been live for an hour. Okay. Put the puzzle piece there. There we go. You couldn't even? You've been doing chainmail for 2 months? Right on. I've been doing it for 28 years now. And more seriously in the last 15. And probably, like, most seriously in the last, since October. October, November, December, January, February. So 7 months. So I do this all day long, every day. This is what I do. This is my job. Well, my website is my job. But I don't want to work on websites. I want to weave rings. Chainmail, making chainmail is a whole lot more fun than making chainmail. Blah blah blah. Words. I know words. Words are good. Making chainmail by hand is a whole lot more enjoyable than making chainmail designs on the computer to put on apparel and accessories, right? They're super cool apparel and accessories when they're done, but I want to wear them, right? I want to have chainmail shirts that are like t-shirts and jerseys and stuff like that. And nobody had what I wanted, so I had to make them myself, right? So I have to do all the designing, and I'll have some product in here pretty soon to show you guys on stream. I've got one little test product here. It's a little dog hoodie, right? But if you look at the edges, right, this right there, and then the cuff, right? The ring size was off, so test print's gonna redo it. But other than that, it looks awesome. And it's got a place for your leash, right there, and a pocket, right? So, like, I want to wear stuff like this. I want, like, you know, I've got Chainmail Flames jerseys up on the website. I want to wear those around. I want to rep chainmail all the time because it's just like my whole life at this point. So actually sounds like a fun job. It is better than a regular job. But I have to do all the designing. And I'm like color deaf, if that makes sense. I'm not good with color, so I struggle with that quite a bit when it comes to design, but thank you for the hearts, appreciate it. The designs I have up are pretty good, but I need to improve some of them and add some more. But I keep putting it off because I want to hand make chainmail, not sit on a computer. And you know, it's the dopamine reward, right? I feel good when I see this. I'm like, yeah, I made that. That's cool. Or this, right? This is so much fun. I could work on this. Like, it did turn into quite the grind when it was getting this big, because each side is over 500 rings, right? So to add a row, which is 2 layers, it's 1,000 rings, and that's 5 hours minimum, right? But at the end of it, you have a bigger jelly cube, and so I kept thinking that, oh, the jelly cube, it'll lose its magic when it gets bigger, but the reality is no, it does not. It's amazing. Thank you for the follow, appreciate you. So I do need to stop what I'm doing and do some computer work. I did get some done today. Google and Apple, the MailWorks app is listed on Google and Apple, right? And they change their policies. Like, it's not often, but it's often enough that you like have a big day planned. And no, you got to go answer a 50-question questionnaire detailing how your app handles user data. And like today was how my app handles user data. But I had already answered their questionnaire, but they had gone in and answered they had gone in and added a whole other section, and it was just like the same thing over and over and over again. So anyway, Google and Apple are dumb. Their app back ends where you put an app on Google and Apple, that's dumb. I don't like them. Not that I could come up with a better way to do it or anything. They do have to make sure that everything is legal, and you know, I'm not smart enough to figure that out. The app has a whole lot of permissions. Yes, it does, and that is to protect me. That is all that is for. When you download the app, it'll ask you for a lot of stuff. That's just to protect me, right? I don't sell your data to anyone. I get a username and password and an email, and that's all I get. And it doesn't go anywhere. It sits on a list. I don't email that list. And if you want your data deleted, all you have to do is contact me, right? But the reason those permissions exist is because Google and Apple require them. As far as I know, like, I don't know how to get around that's another thing, right? Like, half of those permissions aren't necessary, okay? But the instructions on how to navigate the back end of Google and Apple, so that I didn't have to add those permissions, is unintelligible, right? And I'm not an expert. I just did the best I could. And so, like, your data's never going to get out there from me, from anything I do. So it's all Google, Apple, Amazon Cloud, and Cloudflare, right? So all of those institution securities are, you know, protecting you and me and the phones and everything. So not that that can't get out, and not that they're infallible, but if you're downloading the app, or if you have my app on your phone, and you know some data gets out, it's going to be a Google, Apple, Cloudflare, or Amazon Web Services thing. How much for a whole body suit? Good question. Neptunic sells one for $7,500. Big old shark suit. Depends on the complexity, yeah. How many of these rings? Okay. Just need to toss those rings. So a standard European 4-in-1 shirt with butted rings, that is under 15,000 rings. For just the shirt, right? That's probably 15,000 rings. Probably 1,500 to $2,000 just for the shirt. You're still learning how to consistently get that click when you close your rings, yeah. Yep. I'm surprised the phone picks that up. That sound. So yeah, full body shark suit from Neptunic, $7,500. A shirt made by me, like a shirt on the market that is quality, quality material, butted rings, like your lower end style. It's not welded, it's not riveted. You could probably pick one of those up for 1,500 to $2,000 somewhere. Right? Any shirt that I make moving forward is going to be ridiculously expensive, just because it's going to be lined, it's going to have pockets, it's going to have buckles, and I won't, like, I'm not going to take work that isn't over the top, right? The click is so satisfying, and the tension is divine. Yeah. Yep. It's like I put some chainmail onto my motorcycle vests, and it's by far the most comfortable top piece that I have. And so moving forward, that will be the standard of what I make, right? And I'm going to try it out with one of my shirts that I still have some rings for. And then after that, I've got a welding machine. I've got going to get an anodizer this year and riveting setup. And then, like, I'll be making my own rings soon. So a shirt from me is going to be pretty expensive. All right, that is the last ring I have available. You say, but oh, there's 4 rings over here. There are 4 rings over here, and these are to connect the ends, right? There are 21 units in this ring, and this will be number 22, these rings right here. So I keep them set aside so that I know that this is still only at 21 units, right? And then I still need to add that to connect it. So, the rest of the rings, these are a pile of garbage. I'm just going to toss them. I don't even want to deal with them. They've got barbs, and I tried cutting the ends, and ugh, it's gross. So I'm not going to deal with those right now. But we will set, we are 10 rings in. We need to make 85 more. 85 more rings to make a 3x3x3 jelly cube in this ring size. So it's coming along. We'll see. Hopefully, I just hope I get something somewhat cube shaped by the time I'm done. All right. So this is 10, almost 11. And we'll just set that aside for now. So, and what was the cube named by someone earlier? Bob the Cube. I don't know why we're naming cubes, but whatever makes you guys happy. Okay. Alright, let me adjust my eyesight so that I can see these tiny rings again. This, I've said this numerous times, but when you're streaming, you get in the habit of repeating yourself because people come and go all the time, and many times, you know, they have no idea what you're talking about. So I try to remember to like reiterate what's going on. This cube is currently 14 rows by 14 rows by 14 rows. And I'm trying to get it out to a 20 by 20 by 20. And to do that, I have to triple the number of rings that are in here. You wonder how hard it would be to make a Minecraft grass block out of chainmail? Yeah, just start making Minecraft blocks. Then using Minecraft for jelly cube patterns. Is that what you're getting at? I don't think it'd be that hard. But yeah, we're taking this out to 20 by 20 by 20. We're going from 14,000 rings to 44,000 rings. So I've got 30,000 rings to add. And I don't have that many on hand, but this is 1 pound 4 ounces, so 20 ounces, and each ounce is $4, $5. So 20 times 5. There's somewhere like 80 to 100 bucks of materials plus shipping and handling. So you're probably looking at 120, 130, Shipping from Canada is a nightmare. Sounds like an intellectual property nightmare. So you can make one for yourself, right? And if you make them to sell, you just call them, block craft grass cubes. Right? And then, with handmade stuff, right, they usually won't go after you if you're selling one or two here and there. But if I were to take and put a chainmail design of Mickey Mouse onto a hoodie, right? Oh, speaking of that, Mickey Mouse, like the old school Mickey Mouse is copyright free right now, right? I should totally do that. You need 4 big rings to fix a purse. Can't get strapped into holes in it. I'm sorry to hear that, Marcia. If you just need 4 rings, can you open and close them yourself? Yeah, public domain. That's the word I'm looking for. I might have 4 rings that would work. For a purse, though, I'd want something like key rings. Right? Could you get key rings in there, or would that work or not? Just because key rings, also known as split rings, are stronger than the butted rings, right, that I'm using. And if a purse is one of those things that I wouldn't want to skip out on the strength, but if you can open and close the rings yourself, I might have some rings you can use. You could also go to the big chainmail group over on Facebook and see if someone will send you 4 rings from there if you need a specific size. You doubt the key rings would work? That's fair. So, do you know the ring size you need? Or is it just eyeball it and guess? Ah, my node. All right. These rings are so tiny. My eyes are weirding out. You have jewelry pliers, so you'd eyeball it? Okay. Yeah, if I were you, I would take a couple photos of what you needed and go over to the chainmail group and say, hey, does anybody have a ring size they think would work for this? And someone will, if you only need 4 rings, I'm sure someone will be generous and enough to send you some. Right? I'd send you some. If you go and post that in there, and I see that post, and I have the right ring size, I will send you 4 rings. I don't have a problem doing that at all. That is probably the best way to get 4 rings, because otherwise you're going to go and you're going to spend $4 to $5 on an ounce of rings from one of the ring manufacturers, and you're going to get 500 rings that you don't need, and then you'll have this leftover supply sitting around in your house. How do you send me a picture? So if you want to send me a picture, you can go to the Mailworks page over on Facebook. That's where I do most of my messaging, simply because TikTok doesn't let you send images. So yeah, if I have a ring size that I think will work, I will send it to you. Okay, so if you go to the Mailworks Facebook page, my username over on Facebook is my business name, right? And you can message me over on Facebook. And I don't have any problem sticking a couple rings in an envelope to send to you. And if I don't have the right size, then, like I said, check the large chainmail group. Where are we at here? All right. I might finish one row. Not too good with this stuff. Do you have Facebook? Okay, if you just copy and paste my username over there, or a grand... Okay. Yeah, so if you just open it up and type my name in the search bar, you should be able to find me. You should see my logo. This image right there should pop up. Is this heavy? It's 1.4. It's 1 pound, 4.5 ounces. You're very welcome, Marcia. If I can help you, I certainly will try. I have, I don't know, a few 100,000 rings in my basement, so I won't miss 4. Come on. All right. So, Kim, if you're still hanging out, like I said, 1 pound, 4.5 ounces. It is aluminum. It's a stainless steel one would be like 3 to 4 pounds by now. I can never remember. Is titanium 2/3 the weight of steel and aluminum 1/3? Or the other way around? Thank you for the follow. Appreciate you. All right. You had machine learning homework last night, and the professor was saying that some of the models would take a while to train. Yeah. Oh my God, my son is screaming. It is almost time to be in bed for him. So, all right. We got a regular jelly cube and a Ringception jelly cube that we're trying. The Finnegan's Wake, the rings for the Finnegan's Wake inlay should be here soon. I don't know. We got a couple other odds and ends projects hanging around that I will stream. Your 4090 cranked out 4 models in about 20 minutes. Oh, so the professor was saying it was going to take a while, and then you had a 4090 on there, and it just smashed them, just knocked it out of the park. Those 4090s, man, you start those up, and it sounds like a jet engine. This is one of those things. There are really 90 people in here? That's crazy. Where good 90 people that are hanging out right now. Where are you from? Your 4090's custom water cooled? Nice. I never got into water cooling. I got a bunch of fans around mine. my GPU, not my 4090. I think the highest card I had was a 3080. Fort Lauderdale, Florida. I've been there. Much love from Detroit. I've only ever been to Ann Arbor in Michigan, and then never been to Detroit. I was visiting a buddy in college. Yeah, come on. You got coil line even with water cooling? I myself am currently in Kenosha, Wisconsin. Let's see if I can finish off this one row here. There are a lot of people here that travel back and forth between Wisconsin and Florida. And, you know, I 100% understand why they do that. You been to Kenosha? You got friends from Lake Geneva? I need to go out to Lake Geneva. What do I need to do out there? The Gary Gygax portion, the creator of Dungeons and Dragons, has a portion of the Lake Geneva Museum dedicated to him. And so I need to go out and see that. I haven't done that. I did go visit his memorial brick by the fountain down by the lake. I've got a picture of that somewhere. But there was another reason, and it wasn't Gary Gygax as to... Like, I don't play Dungeons and Dragons, but I have enough friends that do, so that when I go and I like take pictures of the Gary Gygax template, it's a D20 with the dragon, says Gary Gygax in memory of Gary Gygax or something. And now there's a dedicated portion of the museum to Dungeons and Dragons because that's where he lived when he came up with it. And they were in a huge legal battle with the ex-wife, the former wife, some of the family. But they finally got all the permission to build it, and so I just want to go out there and take a bunch of pictures of stuff that I can, and then post it online so that all my friends get jealous of me. Oh, you know what? You know a few from Hebron too, but they turned into hooligans. Yeah, there are some chainmail artists out in Lake Geneva. Last time I talked to him, I said, hey, you know what? We should get together sometime. I should go say hi. Maybe once I get the saddlebags done on the bike, I'll go out on a warm day and see if they want to meet up. All right. I used to have patients out in Lake Geneva. You should drive out there 3 times a week. Oh, and I went to go check. There was supposed to be a fantasy restaurant being built in Lake Geneva. Like, they've acquired the property, but they need an investor to build up the actual restaurant. And since everything's like custom one-off stuff, you know, a lot of artists are going to go in and build out the interior of this restaurant. It's expensive, so there's a lot of rich people in Lake Geneva, so I'm kind of surprised they haven't found an investor yet, but it's a project called The Griffin and Gargoyle, and it's a fantasy-themed restaurant, and hopefully one day they get it built. I think they were supposed to start building this year, but they didn't have the funds. So, all right, how long did that one row right there take me? Ugh. I don't even want to know. Alrighty, folks. I have been weaving all day, and my back is killing me, so even though it's Friday, I've got to call it quits. We got a lot done. I'm tumbling some more of these rings, so we'll make some more rings to build out this cube. Right? It's looking pretty cool. looking like it's going to be a thing. Where is the... Yeah, okay. That's kind of like its cube shape right now. Kind of. There. So that's the start of it. We've done 10.5 rings, and we've got 84.5 more to go. So it's not an impossible project, but I do have to order some more rings, and I will verify that the manufacturer has that many in stock. So we'll get this project funded and started. Well, it's already started. We'll get it funded, and it's only 17,000 rings. 16,702, something like that, to make this 3x3 cube. Small project, no problem. It'll be fine. It's a walk in the park. All right. If you see what I'm doing and you think, oh, cool, I'd love to learn how to make chainmail. You can make a whole bunch of random stuff out of chainmail, right? From necklaces and bracelets to enormous cubes, and let go. Ringception pieces, weird random stuff, dice bags. This is an unfinished dice bag, but I gotta anodize it because it's titanium. Super cool though. Gonna look awesome when it's done. So if you see this stuff and you're like, wow, that's cool, he makes that in his own home, I would like to learn how to do that. If you go to the link tree in my bio, there are links to the Mailworks app available on Google and Apple. And if you download that, that is all of the resources I would have wanted when I got started 28 years ago, right? It's got lists of suppliers, lists of where to find tutorials, lists of where to find where other chainmail artists hang out. It's free. Oh, excuse me. There is a link to my store on there. I design and sell chainmail themed apparel and accessories. For example, this is one of the test products, a little puppy hoodie that I'm working on. So yeah, there is a link to my store on the app. As was mentioned previously, there are a lot of permissions on the app, and that is so that Google and Apple would approve my app on their stores, and that I was well protected and you were well protected, and I don't use any of your data for anything. I wouldn't know what to do with it even if I was going to be malicious. So don't let that stop you from downloading the app and getting access to all the resources that are in there. If you want to see me do more of this, right? This is going to cost me $200 to finish. Please go to my website and purchase something. Help me fund this project. It would be greatly appreciated. So with that, it is 10 o'clock. I realize it's Friday night, but I've been working on this stuff all day, so I'm not going to run late tonight. I do want to do a stream with multiple people. So if you're interested in just hanging out and crafting and making stuff, I've been meaning to do that. Maybe we will do that this weekend if I can figure it out. So with that, thank you very much. You all have a wonderful evening. I'm going to get out of here, go relax, zone out, doom scroll, and just turn my brain off for a while. So you all have a wonderful evening. I will talk to you all later. Oh, last thing. This is important. Please go to my link tree and go to all of the other social medias and follow me on there, right? That helps my channels grow on social media, and it helps in case one of the other apps gets deleted, right? So please go follow those other links. Go to my link tree. Spend some time in there. All right? You all have a wonderful evening. I love you. You're awesome. I can't wait to see you next time. You all have a good night. Bye. Press the button. Press the button.